Hi everyone, welcome to AWS WAF How To series with how to use managed rules in AWS WAF. My name is Taz Warbati. I work as a solution architect at AWS. So what are the services that AWS provides for your protection of your perimeter? Basically AWS WAF, there's AWS Shield Advanced, there's AWS Firewall Manager 2. Today we're going to talk about AWS WAF, how it protects your web applications. In the next series, I will talk about how to use AWS Shield Advanced and AWS Firewall. So what does AWS WAF does? It's basically a frictionless setup. You could allow it to deploy easily within your environment. It has a low-cost operations overhead. It has a customizable security also. At the same time, you could actually download rules from other vendors and apply to them. And you could simply pull third-party vendors, as I said, to your WAF console. So what does it actually WAF protects? On the left-hand side, you see that it actually protects your Amazon CloudFront, your AWS application load balancer, or your API gateway. You could use these services to combine with using WAF. Today in our demo, we're going to be I'll showcase you how to use AWS WAF with your CloudFront. So what are the managed rules that you could get from the marketplace? F5, Trend Micro, Fortinet, all of these companies actually have rules that you can actually download and use for your own. So let's say if you're an enterprise customer and you're already using F5, for example, in your own data centers, you might probably want to reuse the same rules over there. And what AWS WAF actually allows you to do is actually use those rules from wherever F5 has produced onto your WAF. So again, those rules are written by these vendors and they have been proven to actually work. Usually the coverage is top 10 web vulnerabilities, API protection, and all of these other things. So for today's architecture-wise, what are we going to talk about? We're first going to have users coming in from their web browser to our CloudFront. Our CloudFront is going to serve as static content, our images, and our JavaScripts and style sheets. All of that stuff is going to be in our CloudFront. And from there on, we're going to pass the traffic on to our VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, and into our internet gateway. As you can see, there's public and private subnets over here. We don't have anything in a public subnet. Traffic is going to come down to our ALB, which is the application load balancer. From the application load balancer is going to hit our target groups, which is targeting to our web server, which are running on EC2 and basically virtual machines. And they are currently running nodejs applications on it. So a simple flow of it would be traffic comes in, CloudFront to there. So there is absolutely no protection over here. So we're going to see how actually an attack could be formed from it. So let's take a look at the demo and see how it goes. So here we have our OAuth's juice shop running. Basically, a juice shop is just an enterprise application that allows us to sell juice. And we have a bunch of juice over here. There's absolutely no protection right now for this application. And let's zoom in a bit and take a look at the URL of it. You can see here is our CloudFront URL that we're visiting for this website. And we're going to launch some attacks onto it. So as it stands, we have our web URL variable set up. It's basically pointing to our CloudFront website. And I am going to just do a simple curl command, -v, with the web URL, just to get the user get response and see what's the HTTP status of it. So here you can see that an HTTP status of 200 was returned, and we have some HTML for the OAuth's juice shop running over here. But now we're going to actually try to imitate an attack onto it, cross-site scripting attack onto it, and see what happens. So here you'll see we're sending a curl command again, -v, just to get back the request, #post web URL, and we're here where you can see we're sending user is equal to script alert, hello alert. So basically we're sending some HTML scripts into it, JavaScript basically, to see what's the response of it. Let's try to send it over. And you can see that we're getting back our juice shop right here, and the HTTP is 200. Now let's try to send a SQL injection into it. So let's see. We got a SQL injection curl -v -hack post, user is equal to n1 equal to 1, the SQL injection, when you're sending a SQL injection into it. Let's see what happens. Again, we see there's absolutely no protection. We're getting back a HTTP 200 over here and back with the HTML, all of that stuff. OAuth juice shop. So what we want to do right now is actually try to protect our website with using OAuth. So how do we do that? Let's take a look at our AWS console for it. So here we're on our AWS Managed Console, and we're in the North Virginia region, and we're gonna search for WAF in our search bar. We're gonna click on WAF and Shield. Here's our WAF and Shield, basically AWS WAF and Shield console. Then click on Create Web ACL. Since we're going to be targeting our global distribution of CloudFront, we're going to choose CloudFront right here. And for the name, we're going to say WAF Protect. The metric's going to be the same, CloudFront distribution. We're going to associate an AWS resource to it too. Add a resource, we're going to select our CloudFront, add it, click on Next. And we're going to add some rules to it. We're going to add some managed rules. We're going to select the AWS managed rules. We're not going to use any paid rules. We're going to use some free rules. First, we're going to select the core rules, which has the OAuth application protection. And we're going to select our SQL database. You could select more of them, but for this demo, we're only choosing these two. I click on Add Rules. Next. Next. Next, and create Web ACL. So this would create our Web ACLs for our CloudFront, basically protecting our CloudFront. Let's see what happens in our architecture diagram. So what we have currently introduced is the traffic is going to come in, but it's first going to hit the WAF before it actually hit CloudFront. So if there's an attacker that's going to attack us, WAF is going to protect us first before it actually even reaches CloudFront distribution. So CloudFront distribution actually works hand in hand with the WAF, and the traffic would not be going down. If there's legit traffic that's coming down, it would actually hit our web servers and then come back. But if it's not legit, we want to block it over here. So let's try to send back the same attacks to our web server, to the CloudFront URL, and see what happens this time. So here, we're going to first send the cross-site scripting to our CloudFront distribution. Let's see what happens. So here we got back a different kind of response. You can see that it's HTTP 403 forbidden. So our traffic got blocked because we were sending cross-site scripting. And what happens if we send our SQL injection? Again, you can see it's 403. So we're getting forbidden again. We were not able to actually hit our web server. Now you're saying, okay, these two things are blocked. Well, what about my simple get? So we could just do a get again for URL just to see how it goes, like if it passes through or is everything blocked. And you could see we're getting back our HTML for the juice shop right here, the HTTP 200. So our WAF is working and it's protecting us from SQL injection and also cross-site scripting. And that's it. That's how you protect your web application using a WAF. Thank you for watching.